recording. So Sergeant Watson, I believe you're up first. And do you have a presentation you would like to share or?
No, I'm just gonna speak
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So if you all have a presentation, you should have sharing capabilities if you would like. And students, please ask your questions at the end of each presentation of each branch because they may not be here by the end of the call.
All right, so I'm Sergeant Watson. I recruit out of Cedar Hill. I'm an active duty recruiter, so I don't recruit for the reserves, the guard, or the academy. So a little bit about me. I've been in the Air Force for about 8 years. The reason why I joined the Air Force was because I needed help paying for school. So that was my main reason. After, getting a bachelor's degree, I decided the Air Force was a good thing for me. So I decided to stay. And with the Air Force, it helped me, travel. I deployed 3 times. I'm starting my master's. So it helped me a lot. So with you all being in high school right now, the Air Force, this is your time to think about which branch you want to join, whether it's the Air Force or the other branch. Once you make your decision, if you decide to go with the Air Force, you need to start applying now because we have a program called the Softbook program. And with the Softbook program, basically for my juniors and seniors, you're going to be guaranteed your top 10 choices of jobs. So start filling out applications and studying for your ASVAB now. Also, if you're in JROTC, request a chapel letter. Basically, those are given out to 2 students a year. And those are the 2 students who decides to enlist into the Air Force. They will be given one of their top 5 jobs. So they will be given one of their top 5 jobs. And then with the process, basically you need to study for your ASVAB test, complete a physical, and then once you complete a physical, you're sworn into the delayed entry program. From there, you're just waiting for a job and you complete in high school, basically. Once you complete high school, then you're off to basic. That's if you start the process now. If you wait till the end of high school, then you're just going to be prolonging the situation, and then you're just going to have to do that whole process at the end. With the Air Force, we have educational benefits, medical, dental, travel, base pay. There's a lot of different benefits that we have. When you're enlisted into the Air Force, you're automatically enrolled into the community college of the Air Force. So you're automatically going to get a associate's degree depending on the job you have. Like for me, I came in logistics. I got an associate's degree in logistics. Now, if you wanted to extend that degree into a bachelor's, whether you want to continue in that job or you wanted to go into another career field, you can do so. As long as you, focus on your grades and don't fail any classes, the Air Force will pay for your school. That's pretty much it. Any questions?
Sergeant Watson, I believe Miss Dewberry, who's our lead counselor, she asked, could you spell the name of the program that you mentioned or just drop the chat?
Okay, I can just drop it in the chat for you guys.
And could you talk about the score range for the ASVAB to actually enlist in the Air Force?
So the score range, the minimum score you can get, I wouldn't suggest it, but the minimum score is like a 36. The max I've seen was a 99. But yeah, I prefer applicants to have between a 50 and a 70 for their score. That's just for the AFQTs or the just their base score basically. But the score is broken up into 4 different categories. So mechanical, electrical, admin, and mechanical, electrical, admin, and general. That's how we look at their scores. So if they have between 50 to 70 in each category, they should be good.
Thank you. Students, do you have any questions for Sergeant Watson? Also, please make sure you sign in because this recording will be emailed to you after the meeting is over. So please make sure you sign in and we can get your email address. And you will have access to all of the recruiter information on the spreadsheet if you need to ask questions, if you can't think of a question at this moment.
How long is basic training?
So basic training is normally 8.5 weeks, but since COVID and everything like that, they've shortened it to 6.5 weeks, and it's in San Antonio.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just for the Air Force or all programs, basic training?
This is just for the Air Force. I don't know about the other branches.
Okay. And you mentioned, could you kind of reiterate what you were saying about the guarantee, if they are about being guaranteed to get into the top 5 jobs?
Yeah, that's for our JR students who received a CHAPA letter. Now, the CHAPA letter, Congressman Herbert Advancement or Advanced Placement Program or Award. And with that award, their instructor only give it to 2 students a year. So if they know the instructor have not given it out yet, they can request that letter. And once they request that letter, they can send that letter to me. I will send it up to my leadership. And once it's been processed, they'll be guaranteed one of their top 5 jobs, one of them.
Now, is this their choice of jobs, or is it like 5 jobs that the Air Force has specifically?
No, this is one of their choices.
Okay.
That they qualify for.
Okay.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What jobs or offers do you guys provide?
So we have a long list of jobs. The area the jobs really consist of are electrical jobs, mechanical jobs, admin jobs in general. Now with the general jobs, they can be like medical, cops, firefighters, logistics, services, just a mixture of stuff. IT can be in general, but yeah, those will be the 4 categories.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If no one has any other questions for Sergeant Watson, well, if you do, again, her contact information is on the spreadsheet. So if you didn't feel comfortable asking in large group, you can contact her via email, or I believe her cell phone number is on there as well. So please utilize the information on the spreadsheet. Thank you, Sergeant Watson. You're welcome to stay, or you can log off. It's up to you. Thank you. Though.
I had a question.
Yes.
Sorry, but do y'all still get like deployed like due to like the pandemic and stuff like that?
I'm not in a I'm not gonna say active duty, like real Air Force right now since I'm a recruiter. So I believe some jobs are still getting deployed, but I'm not for certain right now.
Okay.
Anyone else before we move along? Again, thank you for your time. Hopefully some students will reach out if they have further questions. They do have access to that spreadsheet. So
Thank you.
Thank you. So next in our order, Army. Do we have an Army representative on the call? Okay, I don't see anyone. Okay, Coast Guard. I see Chief Kraft up at the top, so.
How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. It's my time?
Yes, it's your time to shine.
All right, how's everyone doing? Good, I hope. So I'm Chief Adam Kraft, recruiter in charge of Recruiting Office Dallas. We're located in Irving, Texas. We're the only recruiting office for the Coast Guard in the whole north half of Texas. And I have about 6 total recruiters. We bring in about 90 active duty members per year, and that is it. A couple things real quick that I just want to go over is number one, take this time real quick to talk about what the Coast Guard is. Why do taxpayers pay taxes, and that some of that tax money goes to fund us? So the United States Coast Guard is about 43,000 total members. That is it. We are based in the United States, around the United States. We are part of the military, but we're a little bit unique. So there's a total of 5 branches of the military. 4 of them fall under the Department of Defense. That's Army, Marines, Navy, and Air Force. Their job is exactly what their title is, Department of Defense. Their job is to defend us in a time of war against enemies, foreign, domestic, anywhere. They're awesome. We appreciate them. They're great. Their job is to protect us from enemies. United States Coast Guard, we fall under the Department of Homeland Security. The Department of Homeland Security is a regulatory branch of the government. Customs and Border Patrol is an example of another agency under the Department of Homeland Security. So our job is to go out and we regulate rules, and we enforce rules and regulations on the waters. So if someone's breaking the law on U.S. waters, we are your premier law enforcement agency. If somebody's in trouble on the water, we go out and we save them. Federal water is any water around the United States, and then any water contained within the United States that you can get to the ocean from. So Great Lakes, you can take a boat from the middle of the Great Lakes and get to the ocean. So that is our water as well. Lake Grapevine, can't get to the ocean from there. So that is state water. So that's real brief on the difference between federal and state. But like I said, our job is to regulate everybody that essentially makes money on the water. So if you were running a fishing boat and people were paying you money to take them out fishing, the Coast Guard would regulate you, would make sure you're following the rules, make sure that you're not, that you have all the proper safety equipment so that your paying customers are as safe as possible. We go on cruise ships coming in from China that have, supplies from there. We go on there and we enforce law on them. We can enforce that on international. So it's pretty unique. The reason we fall under the Department of Homeland Security is because we enforce laws. It is illegal for a Department of Defense agency to enforce laws on citizens of the United States. It's a violation of martial law. So for those reasons, we can't be under the Department of Defense. We have to be under the Department of Homeland Security because we bust more drugs than all agencies combined. Did something happen there? Hello?
Still hear you.
Oh, so we bust more drugs every year than all other federal agencies combined. So that is what we do. We enforce laws. But the unique thing about us, too, is we fall under United States Code, states that we shall be deemed a branch of the military at all times. So we get all the same DOD benefits, same post 9/11 GI Bill, pay scale, retirement, all the same benefits across the board, same retirement, same pension plan, same everything. 30 days paid vacation, health benefits, all that stuff. It's just that because of our needs to be able to enforce laws on citizens of the United States and federal law, we can't be under DOD, hence why we're DHS. So that is a little bit about the Coast Guard and what we do. We are a premier life saving service. That is what we do the most. I'm a bosun's mate myself in the Coast Guard. That we drive your small boats when people get in trouble. I've been doing this for 20 years. And I've gotten to save lives, and it's a tremendous feeling. Now, that is a bit about what the Coast Guard does, how our jobs work. So you heard the Air Force, lots of jobs. They can, give you your shot at your top 10. The Coast Guard, we have a whopping 19 different jobs. We have 19 different jobs to choose from. But the nice thing about it, I joined out of Phoenix, Arizona, so I never saw the coast. I didn't know what the Coast Guard was, but they came to my school and I talked to them. But the nice thing about the United States Coast Guard is you don't pick your job until after you're already in and working at your first unit. So what that means is you get to go to boot camp. First of all, you need to make sure you like the Coast Guard. That's why I suggest every kid that's interested in the military, go out and see every branch, visit them, see what they do. And then do you, pick what's you. Don't go with the crowd or what you think is the coolest, because in 4 years, you're just going to be looking for a new job. Find something that aligns with what your beliefs are, because all 5 branches do a different job. If they all did the same thing, there would only be one branch of the military, but there's 5. So we all do different things. Check them out, see what they do. The nice thing about the Coast Guard is if you like what we're about, then obviously you're going to find something to do for us. So you go to boot camp. Boot camp's in Cape May, New Jersey. It's 8 weeks long. You go there after you graduate, you go to your first unit. Once you're at your first unit, you start doing watchstander, which is like a 911 operator for the water, boat crew member. You get basic law enforcement qualified. You do that kind of stuff and you go out and you do your job. And during those 4 months, you're going to get to see all the men and women that do our different 19 jobs. And you're going to be able to say, man, that guy's life stinks, or that person's life's pretty cool, or wow, I'd really like to do that. And then after those 4 months, you can put your name on any school list that you have a qualifying ASVAB score for. If you don't like any of the jobs that you have a qualifying ASVAB score for, simply go to your education service officer, retake the ASVAB until you get enough score, then go to your school that you want. There is no ranking them or anything like that. Every school is open to everybody that has a qualifying ASVAB score for. That has resulted in us very proud of. We have the highest retention rate. 83% out of everybody that joins the Coast Guard stays in past their 4 years. And it's unanimously because they picked the job that they wanted. Not taking anything away from the DOD. They're great. It's just that these people get to pick it without a recruiter telling them what they got. So the Coast Guard, that was a big selling point for me. I got to pick it. I went to my first unit. I was like, I want to be an electronics technician. My boss was like, okay, cool. He had me go shadow him for 3 days. They were talking about all these transducers and goofy stuff that is way over the top of my head. And I came back and I was like, I don't want to do that. And he goes, I said, I just want to drive boats and do law enforcement. And he was like, all right, done. So I did it. I picked the job I wanted. And now I sit in front of you 20 years later, sad about the day that I'll have to retire from this organization. So that is the benefit of being able to see it, being able to change it. Had I picked my job before I joined, who knows, I might have picked wrong. So that's just a positive of the Coast Guard. Another big positive, we are based in the United States, so we serve the community, so we are in big ports. We don't have a lot of bases. We can't be forced into DOD housing, so the majority of our people never see a barrack. We draw BH, and we go out and we live in the community. So quality of life standpoint, that's a positive. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's you. If you want to go over and protect and shoot missiles and see that stuff, the Coast Guard sure as heck ain't for you, and you are going to be very bored. But if you're looking for a branch of the military that is more like every day, go out, regulate, people that make on the money on the water, go out and respond to hurricanes, go out and save little Johnny that fell off his boat. If you want to do that kind of stuff, and then we have some tactical stuff. We have K9 handlers. We go out and have people that do big drug busts. You want that? We have that flavor too. It's just up to you, and you get to pick your job after you're already in. So that's about what the Coast Guard is, why we exist. That's the different programs, jobs we have. We do have officer programs. We have part-time reserve programs. We have all that. And then lastly, our requirements. So this is one thing that I'll take the rest of the time to talk on. You have to go through a MEPS test and physical, just like the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. You have to go through an ASVAB test and physical. The results are good for 2 years, okay? It's the same ASVAB and physical for all 5 branches. So if you take it with one branch and you decide on a different branch, that test and physical, as long as it's under 2 years old, is usable for that branch. The nice thing about the Coast Guard is that we can't, because of our requirements of Department of Homeland Security, we cannot dep you in the day you go through MEPS. So that means that if you go through a test and physical at MEPS, you don't have to raise your right hand. You can walk away with the results. They're good for 2 years. You can go shop every branch of the military. And if you decide on a different branch of the military, you don't owe us anything. You can go off and use that test and physical for them. Same thing applies to the other branches. They dep you in, but if you want to go to a different branch, you got to get released from that dep. So there's different things like that. So all I'm saying to you is, if you're interested to keep your options open and shop around, the Coast Guard's a good way to get through test and physical to do that. We just, that is what we do. We are your premier law enforcement agency, federally on the water, and we are a life-saving service with a humanitarian role, still all the same DoD benefits. So if anybody has questions for me, my contact information is there. Like I said, I am the recruiter in charge, so you probably will. I'll make initial contact with you, but then I'll get you off to one of my recruiters to work with. But other than that, I would like to answer any questions if anybody has anything. Nothing, huh?
Students, if you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself or drop it in the chat, whichever you're most comfortable.
I'll just jump in real quick on school. You guys talk about school. So yes, we have tuition assistance while you're in. We have the post 9/11 GI Bill when you're out. So same thing as the other branches. Tuition assistance paid for my whole bachelor's degree. I took it online. It paid for everything. And then I never used my post 9/11 GI Bill. So I was able to give each of my kids 2 years each to go to any college that they want to when they graduate. So.
Thank you, Chief Kraft.
That's it?
Yeah, I don't see anyone unmuting, so
Wow. All right. Cool.
thank you for your time today.
All right. Thank you.
So next we have the Marines, and I think I see DS Ruiz. Am I saying it correctly? You're muted. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
So good afternoon. My name is Hassan Ruiz. I'm taking over Sergeant Perkins. He's the local recruiter for that school. Just like the chief, I'm actually the supervisor for Cedar Hill. So I'm sitting in for him. He's second anniversary with his girlfriend, so I have to give him the night off. So that's a good thing. You know, we take care of Marines. So I'm here to tell you more of a story than anything else. Just like everybody else nailed it on the point. The education, the health benefits, and everything across the board is literally the same. But it's really, what are you looking for in a branch? And before I start, I enlisted about 14 years ago. I'm actually originally from Los Angeles, California. So just like many other kids, I come from a broken home where not many opportunities were given to me. My high school teachers, some of them didn't believe I was gonna graduate from high school, but I did. You know, I was very happy because I wanted to make my mom proud. But the reason I chose the Marines, it was because it was more of a calling. It was a challenge. I was only 128 pounds. A lot of people didn't believe I was going to be a Marine. My mom laughed at me. She was like, "You're a Marine?" No. My friends did the same thing. But the reason I joined the Marines, because just like everybody else, I went and talked to other recruiters. But the reason I went with the Marines is because my recruiter straight out looked at my eye and says, "Why the Marines?" And I couldn't answer to him in that moment, but now being in the Marine Corps for 14 years, I was looking for an opportunity. I was looking for somebody to believe in me, somebody that could take me the next step and overcome obstacles. Because nowadays, things are hard. But the Marine Corps gave me the opportunity to prove myself, not only to my parents, but to myself, that I could overcome mountains. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I came from from nothing to who I am right now. I was able to get my bachelor's degree, currently working towards my master's degree. Just like the Coast Guard, they talk about doing different jobs. Well, I started in the Marine Corps as a motor transport operator and a diesel mechanic. But the Marine Corps gave me the opportunity to work with military police, combat engineers, and I had the pleasure to train Border Patrol agents and different other nationalities. But most important, it gave me the ability to show that I could be someone better that a lot of people never thought I was gonna be. And over the years, I have the opportunity to work with different branches, different central agencies. And it helped me to discover myself. It made me a better father, a better brother, but most important, a better son, something I gave back to my mom. One of my dreams was buying a house to my mom. And one of the benefits that the military across the board has is the BA loan. So that gave me the ability to buy my own house and tell my mom, "You know what, Mom? This is your house now." Because I travel all over the world. Like I like to travel, and that's something the Marine Corps has done that for me. But in order for me to be part of this, I have to break all my shells, because a lot of people have misconceptions of the Marines that everything's about fighting, war, and doing this, doing that. But honestly, there's more to that. The Marine Corps nowadays is very competitive. We force you to go get that degree, because we want to make quality citizens. We want you to get out of the Marine Corps, not only with a technical job, the experience, but with a degree, because that's what's going to make you and excel in the real world once you get out. And as far as jobs, the Marine Corps has a wide variety of jobs. It has all the way to the aviation field, to be a paralegal, communications, and public affairs. But just like the other services says, you have to qualify. I know the Air Force tells you they give you your top 5 choices. The way we work is that we're actually going to give you your top 3 choices. And the way it works is that you got to meet those requirements. If you meet a requirement for a job, we'll give you that job. But everything happens, it doesn't happen in MAPS. It happens once you qualify in MAPS, then you're going to be able to find out what kind of job you qualify. But the most important about the Marines is that we'll find out who you truly are, and we'll push you, we'll excel you. And what we want to do is that a lot of people are afraid of certain things. But one thing that we're going to do is that we're going to help you to master those fears. And it doesn't have to be something physically. It could be something mentally. Because honestly, nowadays, everything is mental. And that's what the Marine Corps strives to be, to make you a better person, to help you to strive to who you are. But we understand that along the ways, you need education, you need a good job, you need stability, and we'll create that. We create a sense of freedom. And it's really how you want to excel in the Marines. Like I said, I started as a diesel mechanic, but I have over 20 different qualifications. And I never thought I was going to do that, especially in the Marines. So far, it's been a blast. I was stationed originally in California. I was stationed in Hawaii for 3 years. I was stationed in Japan for 3 years. And right now, I want to finish being right here in Texas. And I kind of want to go back to California because that's where I'm from. But the beautiful thing is that my family travels with me, my wife and my kids. So everywhere I go, my kids get to go with me. So that's kind of, that's one of the main reasons that I liked about being in the Marines. We're such a small community, and our role, it's a multi-role. We have to do different type of jobs that could be sustained, all the way from aviation to the ground to the logistics. And that's what makes the Marine Corps unique, that we're self-sustained. We could go anywhere in the world within 24 hours and self-sustain. But the most beautiful thing about it is that the Marine Corps is growing as an organization. And in order for you to qualify, the minimum passing grade is 31, but in reality, we're looking for 50 and above. And I'm going to tell you why. Because a 50 and above is what's going to get you those high-end technical jobs. And that's what we want kids not only to study, to make sure they don't get in trouble. Because honestly, there's 1,000 things that could disqualify you. If you have moral issues, drug issues, physical issues, they could be disqualified. But like I said, we'll work with you. We'll screen you. We'll want to make sure that this is truly what you want to do. But in the end of the day, if this is something that you don't want to do, hey, we'll shake hands. At least you find out a little about the Marines, and you could continue with your life. But I'm going to tell you right now, some of you guys are very, very smart. With or without the military, you're going to make it far. But imagine that we could teach you how to excel with your capabilities and make them even better, make them stronger. Your weakest points are going to become your stronger points. And that's what we excel, and that's what we're really good in the Marines. Do I have any questions?
Is there an exact weight range?
Say that again?
A weight range? Like a certain amount you gotta weigh?
Yes, ma'am. So we do have a certain weight range. Everybody has, depending on the height. For example, I'm 64 inches, I'm kind of short. My max weight is 162 pounds. So all depends on your height and weight, and mostly on your height is gonna determine what is the weight range that you can. If you're within certain pounds, we do have a program that we could help you to lose a little of that weight, and we could recommend different things, but you kind of have to work that on your own. We could recommend certain things, and right now, because of the heat and because of the COVID-19, we're a little restricted, but in the normal scenario, we could actually definitely help you out to lose a little weight. Does that answer your question?
Okay. Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. And come on, guys, you guys got to ask some hard questions because I really want to hear some of your questions. A lot of people ask me, do you guys pay for college? I'm going to tell you right now, across the board, yes, we do. Ask us some real questions, something that you heard and it was a misconception. This is the time, and I really challenge you to do so.
Do you have a reserve program for seniors, juniors, high school?
So we could enlist somebody that could go into the reserve program during their senior year. The reserve local programs that we have right here, one is in Grand Prairie and the other one is in Fort Worth. The Marine Station in Fort Worth, their reservists, they go into the aviation field and they work with different platforms. One of them is the C-130. They work in engines and electronics. The Marines in Grand Prairie, they go into the communication field and the motor transport field. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
How long is basic training?
So basic training is 13 weeks. It's literally, if you want to put it in a month, it's about roughly 3 months. And it's broken down into 4 phases. Give me one. It's breaking down into 4 phases. The first phase is pretty much orientation. That's when we teach you how to drill. And that's where you're going to start having your first examinations. Second phase, that's when we start getting you a little more into the military culture. That's when you start receiving your rifles, because as Marines, we are riflemen. And now we start exposing you more into the military life. Now, third phase, that's the most exciting phase, because that's the phase that you're going to encounter the crucible. That's when you earn the title United States Marine after the crucible. In fourth phase is pretty much showing you how to be a Marine, but most important, we actually start helping you out to set up savings accounts and for you to start investing your money too. By the time you get out of the military, I mean, the Marines, you're well set, not only towards the future, but you're well trained and qualify as a basic Marine. And for all males, they all go to MCRD San Diego, which is California, San Diego. And for all females, they go to South Carolina, Parris Island. Does that answer your question?
Yes, and I also had another question.
Yes, ma'am.
And what, in your opinion, what phase do you think is the hardest?
To be honest, the hardest thing is that I miss my mom. Believe it or not, when I was in boot camp, that was the one thing that I really miss my mom. But they're allowed to write you letters. And I'm going to tell you right now, I wasn't a writer. I wouldn't like writing. But the first time I received my letter from my mom, it made me appreciate my mom a whole lot more. It made me appreciate writing letters. And honestly, me and my mom, we never had the best relationship. But after that, I understood a lot of her sacrifices. And I never knew that I was going to find out in the Marines. And I did. I love my mom. I appreciate my mom. And now being in the active fleet Marines, one of the hardest things is honestly, is failing. Like I can't fail, you know? It's like people depend on me, my family, my Marines, you know, my loved ones. So the hardest thing is it's failing. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's okay to fail because you learn from failing. The one thing that we will not accept is quitting. Because if you quit, you didn't even try, you didn't even fail. So how are you gonna learn from that? Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, like, what is, like, your favorite thing about, like, being in the Marines? Like, what makes it stand out to you?
Honestly, and I keep telling everybody, is that the fact that the Marine Corps will give you a shot in whatever you want to do. If you truly want to push yourself, you will do it. One thing that I always wanted to do in the Marine Corps, it was to become a martial art instructor. And I'm not gonna lie, some of those guys are big, and I was afraid of that. But I had great mentors, great staff NCOs, you know, that and great leadership that they pushed me, and I did become an instructor. And I'm gonna tell you right now, one thing that I was told as a young Marine is like, the only limitation there's gonna be is you. So if you limit yourself, that's how far you're gonna make. And honestly, if you really want it, and if you wanna go after it, the Marine Corps will never stop you. I'm gonna tell you right now, the fact that I chose to do different jobs and learn different trades that I never thought I was gonna be possible doing, and the Marine Corps allowed me to, it's something that really stood up about it. And the fact that it helps me to develop not only as a professional, but most important to me, as a human person. And it made me honestly a better father and a better, you know, husband. I've been married to my wife for 20 years. And a lot has to be because, not only because of her support, but the leadership and the mentorship and the development that I got in the Marines.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
How often do you see your family while you're like on base or?
So honestly, the Marine Corps is as a regular job. I go home every day. Normally our day starts at 6 in the morning because as a leader, I got to make sure that my Marines are physically fit. Honestly, by 4:30, 5 p.m., I'm already home. And after that, when I was in California, honestly, I leave like literally about 10 minutes away from the beach. So at nighttime, we used to go eat dinner. You know, we used to like walk around there. But as long as I'm in country, I see my family every day. And my mom lived in Los Angeles, so I was like literally 45 minutes away from her. So, you know, I love my mom's food. So on the weekends, I used to drive down to go see her. So as long as you're not deployed, you get to see them every day. But when you're deployed, depending on your situation or mission, you could literally talk to them like every day. Like I had a phone, so I used to talk to them all.
And students, if you have any other questions, each recruiter's information is in the spreadsheet that you completed the attendance on. We still have 2 more branches that have to present, so I want to be respectful of time. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to the recruiters and ask your questions. Not to cut anyone off, but just to be mindful of time. We have about 20 minutes before the meeting is over, and I just want to make sure everyone gets to present. Great questions, though. Keep them coming.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Y'all have a great evening.
Thank you. So next we'll have the National Guard. Are you still on the? Is anyone on the call for the National Guard? Okay, well, we'll move right along to the Navy. I see. Okay. Perfect.
Hi, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
How you guys doing? So I'm Petty Officer Hardesty. I'm with the United States Navy. A little bit about myself. I've been in for 7 years. I'm from Arizona. So let me tell you how my career went. So I joined in January 2014, went to school in Chicago. That's the boot camp. That's where I go to boot camp. From there, I went to schooling for my job in Florida. I'm an aviation mechanic, so I went to school for working on jets. From there, they actually flew me out to the aircraft carrier in the Middle East. That was my first deployment. From there, I went to Bahrain, Dubai. We went to Greece. And those were those deployments. I was cut short because I joined them in the middle of it. From there, I went to actually San Diego, and I was in San Diego for 3 years. From there, I went to the Philippines. I went to Hawaii. I went to Alaska. I went to Vietnam, Guam. And I think that's about it on the West Coast. You guys got any questions yet about my experience? Okay, good. Go ahead.
What is the difference between the National Guard and the Coast Guard?
Well, I'm Navy, so I don't know the difference between those two. I can tell you the difference between us.
My bad.
Yeah, you're good.
If you're interested in the National Guard, that contact information is on the spreadsheet. I don't see him on the call to ask those questions, but we are at the Navy. So this is our last branch of the evening. So this is the Navy, y'all. I'm sorry if I confused you by the National Guard.
But yeah, we're like all the other branches. The Navy is special because we do everything the other branches do. So we have our own Air Force, we have our own ships, we have our own soldiers, we have all that stuff. We actually, and our own planes as well. Like I said, I'm an aviation mechanic, and we have a bigger Air Force than the Air Force does because we operate on the sea as well. We also have the toughest special forces program with the Navy SEALs, obviously. We have explosive ordnance disposal. We have over 100 jobs you could choose from, whether it be from logistics to engineering to pilots, aircraft mechanics like myself, electricians. We have plumbers, we have police, we have nurses, personnel support. We have administrative things. We have CT if you want to be in computers. We have computer jobs if you want to do that. You guys got any questions about anything of those?
Yes, I do. I'd rather choose the Navy like as of right now, but like I'm open to other branches. But I don't know whether it should be like better if I should go into the Navy and do online college like while I'm in the Navy, or if I should just do my 4 years of the Navy first or do college after?
Well, it all depends what you're looking. Are you looking to stay here? Are you in no rush to leave?
What do you mean by that?
As far as go ahead and joining and starting your process as to like getting in and then traveling the world and making your new friends and stuff like that. All the meanwhile going to school, and you actually
Yes.
so you're actually you're getting money and you're going to school and you're doing your job. So basically, you work your full-time job, you get off, and then you do your online courses. You can do it that way.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anything else? Yeah. So like I said, the Navy is a huge opportunity for anybody that's looking to travel the world, learn a job trade, use the benefits. We have all the benefits, like I said, like all the other branches. You go to get your degree for free while you're in, and then when you get out, you can use your GI Bill, and that actually gives you money to live in your house that you choose to live in, as long as you maintain a C average at whatever college you attend.
Officer Hardesty, there's a question in the chat that says, do you have information for the Navy Health Profession Scholarship Program for high school seniors?
For that program, that's going to be the more of the officer side. So I just enlist the enlisted side. If you're going on that route, get your degree first and then go the officer route. You can come see me. I'd be happy to give you that information. But the information I'm only putting out is just for the enlisted side.
Nancy?
I have a question.
Yes.
How long is basic training?
For us, it's 8 to 9 weeks with the COVID stuff going on. They had to add. There's a 2-week quarantine period now. And then after that, and then that's actually going to count towards the 9 weeks. And you're getting paid the whole time. The day you get to boot camp is when your pay starts coming in.
I have a question. Like, what was your experience when you went to boot camp and like when you were enlisted?
So I'm still enlisted, but the most challenging thing for me for boot camp was probably the culture shock. You're learning things you never even thought you would need to learn. You're away from your family. That's probably the toughest part. But like I said, that's what makes it all worth it once you complete the training and you come out a whole different person in a good way. You're matured, you're more independent, and you just make your family proud. They're happy to see you in a uniform. And that's the beginning of your whole new lifestyle. And that's the hardest part. And once you make it through boot camp, it's just like any other job, 9-to-5 job, except you're traveling the world and you're seeing things a lot of people didn't get to see. At 25, I had my own house, my own car, and I was going to work every day on my own, more independent.
Okay, I have another
a question.
Yes.
Is the pay like based on your rank or like your age?
It's based on your rank. So you could be 19 years old and be the same rank as me, and we'd be making the same money. It all depends how much effort you put forth in your job. You put a lot of effort in, you're going to get more money. By means of advancing in rank quickly, you have an opportunity to get a pay raise every year. It just depends what you put into it. You put in a lot of work into it, you could be my level in less than 3 years. But like I said,
Okay, thank you.
For a pay raise every 2 years. And then upon that, after every rank, you also get a pay raise.
How often do y'all get deployed?
It really depends on your job and where you go first. So I'll say me being in for 6 years, I was actually deployed twice. And if you want to count Hawaii for 6 weeks, that was, you could say 3 times. But when you are deployed, you have extra money for that. There's all kinds of different pay incentives. We also offer the most enlistment bonuses. So if you score high the minimum score for Navy is 31. If you make anything above a 50, that's when you start getting your enlistment bonuses. We pay you up to $40,000 in enlistment bonuses.
Y'all, y'all weight range, does it also depend on y'all height?
Yeah, it really just depends on the height. Not only the height, you could say you're 65 inches because we do inch to height ratio. You could be, say the max weight is 140 pounds for 62 inches. You can be over that weight as long as your waist measurement is under 40 inches and you would be eligible. It all just depends on your body measurements, not really your weight. Weight does come into it. If you're under the weight, we won't have to measure you. But if you're over the weight, then we just measure you. And if your measurements are good, then you're good.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? But yeah, you guys are welcome to come see me at the office. I'm in the Cedar Hill office by the Super Target and Best Buy. Just coming to the office doesn't necessarily you have to join. You can come there and then I could actually give you more information or answer any questions you may have that way, one-on-one.
Is that the same office that the Air Force is in?
We are right next door to the Air Force.
Got it.
Yeah, it's the Navy, Marines, Army, Air Force. We're all neighbors.
And students, if you have additional questions, you can contact all the recruiters. The information is on that spreadsheet that you had to sign in on. And I can email that information to you all as well. So you can set up any appointments or anything. I don't know. Could you talk about how that works? Do you all have to have an appointment to come to the recruiting office, or it's a
usually we're there from 9 to 5. It wouldn't hurt just to give us a call and let us know what time you're interested in coming in, so we can make sure one of us is there for when you arrive. We also have plenty of PowerPoints I can send you, and I have plenty of videos of on the job information for because every job we have, there's a YouTube video for it posted by the America's Navy actually, so you can actually visualize what we do and how we do it and how we like it.
Great. So if no one has any other questions, we can wrap up the meeting because I don't see any other recruiters or anyone else that has joined the call. Thank you, Officer Hardesty, for your time. And,
no problem.
And students, please make sure you sign in so I can send this information to you.
Yeah, and then just look at my number. You just shoot me a text, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have. Any time of the day.
Okay.
Thank you to my colleagues there on the call for joining us, and we can end the call.